At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Your data is like gold to hackers. They'll sell it to the highest bidder. Are you protected? McAfee helps shield you, blocking suspicious texts, malicious emails, and fraudulent websites. McAfee Secure VPN lets you browse safely, and its AI-powered text scam detector spots threats instantly. You'll also get up to $2 million of award-winning antivirus and identity theft protection, all for just $39.99 for your first year. Visit McAfee.com. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and The Pavilion with me, your host, Stephen Wallace. On today's show, we have a history maker. In late November 2024, Shirley Anderson-Jolag became the first female bloodstock auctioneer in Britain when she brought the gavel down at Tattersalls in Newmarket. Shirley shares her journey in racing and how she made it to the rostrum at the famous Park Paddocks auction ring. She discusses her decision to step into the role of an auctioneer, the build-up to that landmark moment, and what it was like taking charge of her first session. We also explore her role at Tattersalls, Europe's leading bloodstock auctioneers, and how her career could have taken a different path. Hello, Shirley. Thanks for joining me on the Paddock and the Pavilion.
Thanks for having me. Gosh, no, it was great. Fantastic.
How are you?
Yeah, good form. Bit chilly here in Newmarket today, but all good. All good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. It doesn't seem quite like racing weather yet, but perhaps National Hunt weather.
Yeah, maybe a hint too cold for National Hunt weather today, as it was -3 when I was waking up this morning to go do the horses. But this is good National Hunt weather. It's not quite ready for the flat horses yet, but they're out. They're definitely out all working. You can see the 2-year-olds out now, which is exciting to see.
It's getting lighter, so it's not that long to the Craven.
No, exactly that. Yeah, no, the evenings are much more pleasant. When you're leaving the office, it's actually still daylight, which is fantastic. So, it means summer is nearly there. We're nearly over the long winter that we've had.
It's always good to see the back of January, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it flew by though. To be fair, it's been. I can't believe we're in February already. Going into the second week next week of February. But so time is flying. As you say, the Craven is around the corner now, literally.
I must give special thanks to your fellow auctioneer, Freddie McKibbin, at Tattersalls Newmarket for the introduction. And just for the advert, Freddie was on episode 180 back in March 23, and you can find that on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or on our YouTube channel. But to start with, I wanted to take you back, Shirley, to, correct me if I'm wrong, to Tuesday the 26th of November at Park Paddocks, Newmarket, when you made history.
Yeah, that you are right. So obviously that was the day that I was going to be selling my first foals or first ever horses in the Tattersalls sales ring. It's still like seems like yesterday, and it was at the same time a real blur.
How nervous were you on the day, or even the night before?
Oh, the night before it became very real. So I'd kind of been in my own little bubble, and I knew I was doing it, and I've been working very close with the chairman, Edmund Marnie, here, and I was practicing because obviously I have a different voice to the men. I was practicing a sound check, and I was just practicing being up in the rostrum the day before, and a few of the press were actually in getting ready for the sale, and no one really knew I was going to be doing it, and I kept it so quiet because I didn't really want to make a big thing of it. I kind of wanted to go under the radar, basically go and sell a few horses, and then it become if it became something fantastic. If it didn't, that's fine. I wasn't looking for so it was obviously day before, and the press had set up, and it was the TDN, Emma Berry, that was in the room at the time while I was just having a quick warm-up and a practice. And I remember finishing my practice session, we were chatting away, and then I left the auditorium, and as I'm walking out, all of a sudden it came up in the TDN, good luck to Shirley Anderson-Jolag to become the first female auctioneer at Tattersalls and in UK and Ireland. And it was like, it became very real then. So like my whole blood like ran cold. And then all of a sudden it was lovely well wishes, but lots of people messaging me, this is fantastic news, good luck tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God, it made it so much more real. So I literally had to leave. I had to leave Tats and go home. I put my phone on silent. I was like, this is tomorrow. And I just felt so numb. I was like, why are you doing this? It was just, it was going to be bigger than I thought. And then I didn't look at anything on social media. I stayed at home. I'd already seen all my horses about 50 times, as you can probably imagine. I'd had a small run, but I made sure I, knew everything about them. And I went up to Tattersalls not too early, and then started to really get in my head thinking, why are you doing this? You silly girl. Why could you have not just been happy as you are? And it was Edmund I saw before the sale started, and he just said to me, he's like, treat it like it's just you and I having a normal lesson, Tuesday lesson. I'm like, okay. And then Edmund started proceedings, and then it was obviously the auditorium was pretty empty, because in the morning it tends not to be, filled with people. And then all of a sudden, like 2 or 3 lots before mine, the whole place just started like filling, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is even worse now. But then it was lovely because I looked around, and it was so many people who had become friends over the years, clients who are very good friends now, and just lots of smiley, happy people. And that was it. And then the rest literally was history. So, it was really lovely. It's something I'll bottle up and I'll keep forever. It's such a nice feeling. But,
so word got round amongst the press then. Yeah.
It had. Yeah. Yeah. And then I, on top of that, I never got to meet them properly, but, a bus, like a coachload of college schoolgirls came too, because I remember as the auditorium was filling up, there was just the top in the gods was filling up with students, and I was thinking, and I know Edmund turned around to me, he's like, who are they? And yeah, it turns out it was a college group that had come and heard it was happening too. So it was really, really lovely. I love this industry because all year round, when somebody needs a bit of support, people do get in together and really do want to help. And it was, you could just, as cliche as that sounds, that you feel the love in the room. It was really lovely. Yeah.
And you began with lot 211. That must be in your head, number 211.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget the "You Better Believe It" filly out of a mare called Totes Emosh, which seems quite apt for how emotional I probably was after I'd finished. And I actually I will go and see her, because the lovely lady Helen Smith who purchased her, she's for a syndicate of women, I believe, and I potentially may even take a share in her. You never know. So it's looking highly likely. So I feel like of all the horses I would have in training, that feels like one that I should definitely have a little share in anyway.
Yeah, sounds a good idea. You're on for 20 minutes, I think. Is that right?
Yeah. And obviously there was the round of applause, which I had after the first one, which I wasn't really, really expecting. But yeah, on for 20 minutes, and then came off, and that was it. I was now on the roster selling. So yeah, really, really fantastic.
And the moment you came off, then you were interviewed immediately. You came out the door.
Yeah, I wasn't really that hadn't been planned with me anyway. And it'd be very, very unusual for me to be speechless. I could talk for England probably, and surrounding countries. And when I came off, it was a strange feeling, because I was so emotional beforehand, and then all of a sudden, I don't really tend to show too much emotion here. I try not to be very professional, and then I probably couldn't keep it in. I tried very hard to bottle it up, but I think a few little tears did come out during the interview, which I'm still slightly mortified at. But hey, there we are. But Ali was very kind afterwards. She's like, I'm sorry, but I had to. It's I still sometimes it still gets shared now, and I cringe watching the interviews. But I wouldn't change any of it, to be honest.
I found that one easily on the computer.
Yeah, gosh.
And you're in lots of the newspapers, big feature in the Racing Post.
Yeah, I was just saying, somebody sent a picture through this morning of, I think it's the diary, the Bloodstock News diary. So I've made it on front of that. I was like, people are genuinely going to be the sick at the sight of this face by the seeing it for the last few months. But yeah, no, again, press were amazing. Racing Post was really kind. Irish Field really kind. EBN, very kind. No, the people, TDN, again, everyone has been so positive and lovely. Yeah.
What's the secret then when you're on the rostrum, on the stage?
I come from a performing arts background in my youth, and it's very different because, at least then you're playing somebody else. You can, pretend not to be you. So me as Shirley, the nerves are horrific. Like still beforehand, I had 4 runs this week for the Tattersalls February sale, and it's just breathing, purely just breathing, smiling, hoping for the best. And if you've done your homework, I feel you're okay. But yeah, just breathe in and out, a bit of yoga breathing, just to keep zen before you start. Basically,
you've got to keep calm when you're up there, though.
Yes, yeah. The 2 minutes beforehand, I'm never. But then once I start saying I'm okay, and then afterwards the nerves go back up to 90 again. So it's somehow managing to hold it for the run. And you're doing that, you have to get out of your own head because you're doing that for the vendors that you're selling the horses for. At the end of the day, they're putting that trust in you. You kind of have to get out of your own head that it's not about you, it's about the actual horses and getting the right price and the right homes for these horses for the vendor.
You've mentioned him before, but Edmund made a massive difference to your training.
Massive. When I decided I wanted to do this, I approached him and he was like, yeah, fantastic idea. When you're ready, let's start. And that's probably something that doesn't happen to Edmund often. I cancelled once or twice when we'd had things booked in because I was like, oh, can't do this, not ready. And I cancelled, I remember again, must have been summertime a few years ago. And he just went, he was obviously starting to get annoyed, understandably. He was like, you just tell me when you're ready. I'm not going to approach you again. And then obviously playing hard to get worked with me. And then that was it. I was like, right, I'm going to do it. And yeah, we got our first lesson in the diary. And the team here at Park Paddocks, Pat Sweeney, kindly opened up the rostrum for me at 6 a.m. because I couldn't sleep and I just wanted to come in and practice about 1 million times before Edmund arrived at 9:30. So from there, that was it. Once you got the first lesson, when I took the bandage off and did that first lesson, we were well away then, and I really, really enjoyed it. And each week Edmund would be like, "Are you sure? Just checking, you're happy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." I knew I was on the path that I wanted to do it. So it was a slow build, but I think we chose the right time for me to sell properly. And then obviously getting the experience through Edmund with Rowley's Fine Art in Ely. That's been a fantastic place to practice, auctioneering and actually selling live. And I think I will, if I can, carry on a few more days there because it's just just very different, which is great thing to add to your your bow. So
if your football team had one option in their playbook, the results probably wouldn't be great. The same could be said for your investments. SIBO index options like SPX and XSP can help expand your investing strategies with cash settlement and potential tax advantages. If you're ready for a more dynamic game plan, head to betterwithoptions.com. SIBO, life is better with options. Your investments could be too. There are risks associated with SIBO company products. Review the disclosures and disclaimers at SIBO.com/US_disclaimers.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the Jumbotron first, before attempting to eat a stack of Supreme nachos in one bite. Now you're just a meme that everyone shares on game day. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hair thinning can happen for so many reasons. Whether it's stress or hormones or anything, at Nutrafol we've learned that real change starts below the surface. Our hair growth supplements take a whole-body approach and target the key root causes of hair thinning, so you can see visibly thicker, stronger hair in 3 to 6 months.
Hair growth starts from the inside at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
Let's go back to your beginnings in racing. Your family, are they connected with racing?
No, not at all. I have a family of animal lovers and horse lovers in particular. So my mother's from Ireland and my father's from the Middle East. So there's very much a horse background from, both sides, very different horse background. But when I was born, they did. My mum obviously always wanted a little horsey girl, which was no chance I was never going to be. And I had a little Shetland pony. And then from there, I've had horses all my life. Still have quite a few. I've had since I was young. So we keep all our horses. So yeah, I didn't come from a racing background, loved racing, played polo, and I ended up going down more of the arts route for thinking that was what I wanted to do as a career, and then have horses as my hobby. But I realized I couldn't stay away from them and went down more the rehabilitation side of the equine world. And we had a rehab yard and we had quite a few thoroughbreds in, and then I fell in love with the thoroughbred even more when I was much younger. And then also we bought 2 and 3 year ex-race horses, and we retrained them into for a team for polo. So that's how I kind of got into Tattersalls and buying and things like that. It was being at the sales and buying those horses that maybe hadn't suited racing life and that could suit another career in the equine world, basically. How something, it's just funny how your job kind of falls in, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and you're on the right path. So yeah, I didn't come from the traditional polo racing background at all.
Just before we talk about Tattersalls, I've got to ask you, because I've read this, that said you were an opera singer.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how I thought that I could. I always thought maybe I couldn't really make money out of horses, and that I was going to make money as an opera singer. But I am technically still. Not that I think last year was the last time I did sing anything. Yeah, I am a soprano opera singer by official trade. Yeah, it's not a skill I tend to use. But to be fair, the one thing I have probably used is the breathing techniques for auctioneering, because you use your diaphragm and you're working from your core. So that's probably one of the skill sets I have used. But yeah, I won't be singing any sonatas during selling any horses. I can tell you that. Yeah.
So if there's a delay in a horse coming in, you're not going to do Figaro or something before he comes in.
No, yeah, I think not yet. Anyway, not for a while. Depends how long the delay is, but yeah, not yet.
My research revealed that you started at Tattersalls in 2015.
Yeah, it must be 2015 now. It's 9 years ago, nearly 10 years ago. Yeah, you would be correct.
And you're now a sales manager, and you're heavily involved at Cheltenham sales, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a big part of my career here. Cheltenham is, national hunt racing is where my passion really lies. So it's fantastic, and Cheltenham Racecourse is a really, really special place to be able to sell, some of these fantastic, horses that go on to run at Cheltenham. So it's it's a real dream you're selling. We have some very, very nice horses for the festival this year that have been bought even at our Cheltenham Festival sale. So it's fantastic. You can go and buy a gorgeous horse that's going to come back and hopefully give you that special day too. So yeah, I think that's why I love Cheltenham so much, for that specific, the dream is alive thing.
Cheltenham sales are expanding as well. I see there's 5 now in the year.
Yeah, so we've got 5. So November, kicks off the season into December. All with race meetings, apart from we have a February sale on the 21st this month, which isn't with racing, but it's the first 4-year-old sale of the year. So it's, at the beginning of February in Ireland, the 4-year-old pointers come out and start running. And this sale has produced the likes of Envoy Allen, Django Bay, some very, very smart horses that, have gone on to fantastic things. So, and then we move on to the festival. So the festival, we have a sale on the Thursday evening. So yeah, it's a busy 5 weeks coming up now, but hopefully some very nice horses coming through.
Is the festival sale the biggest one?
It would be it's our flagship one. Wouldn't be the biggest in numbers, but it's, we keep it tight on numbers, but it's the creme de la creme of what's on the market at the time. And it does get a real reach. You have everyone from all over the world. The American market of national trainers are over for it. So everyone, you have the superpowers of, Jigginstown and Brian Atchison and, trainers, Gordon Elliott, William Mullins. Everyone is there for it. It's one of those sales that, all the names are there and they will, buy the right horses that suit them. So, yeah.
Yeah, talking of Gordon Elliott, I see one of the horses went for over 300,000, I think, last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, we've got some great prices. He bought, coming up to the Cheltenham Festival sale, he purchased a Romeo Coolio, who looks to have a good chance for the festival for I think 420. So there's some, he's bought some very, very nice horses, and he's bought actually well. He bought another horse called Touch Me Not from that Cheltenham Festival sale, which is an English pointer, who went on to do great things, and it's now won a Grade 2 and placed twice. I think he was 150. So yeah, there's he does buy well, but along with all the other trainers, Henry de Bromman's got some nice chances too from us too. So yeah, we've got some smart horses at the minute, so it's exciting. This is the time where I actually you can't help but love to watch the racing from now on for the rest of the season.
And your role in the Cheltenham sales, you're promoting the sale. Do you go along to look at the horses pre-sale?
Yeah, the English ones I tend to. We've got we're not a very big team for Cheltenham. It's a great close team, and we have 3 chaps in Ireland: Jamie Codd, Barry O'Neill, who's still a point-to-point jockey, and Jer Hannon, who's a breeder and agent, and they would tend to look at a lot of the horses that are coming over from Ireland. And then in England, myself, Matthew Hall, Richard Botterill, Liz Lane, we've got a really, really nice team over here that look at them. And then if I can go and see them, it's fantastic. I'll tend to go to the English point-to-points, and then I run the whole thing. So it's kind of just making sure everything goes smoothly. As you know, it's not a site that is just ours, so there are moving parts as that can happen, on the day. So with race goers and everything else, but yeah, it's a real logistical operation as well.
Lots of travelling in the job then.
There is lots of travelling, yeah. So now I'll be on the road next week actually looking at 3-year-old stalls who will go off to our flagship sale in Ireland, hopefully the Tattersalls Island Derby sale. So I'll be on the road a little while now, having a look around the country at some nice national hunt horses. It's work because you're driving, but I can't say when you turn up to lovely yards and look at lovely horses, it feels like much work, if I'm honest.
You must have a sale soon at Cheltenham as well for February.
We do 21st of February. So yeah, it's 1 o'clock start without racing. So it's the only sale we have without racing this year. But yeah, some nice entries so far, and it's a very different model to the Tats Newmarket model because the catalogue closes so late because we literally, the horse could run on Saturday or Sunday and be selling with us that following week. So it's we don't tend to have a full catalogue till literally the Monday before sale.
So you could easily find some horses bought at the February sale that could be running at the festival.
Oh, potentially, yeah. Yeah, potentially, yeah. Maybe in the bumper. Something with an entry with a nice champion bumper type. I think there's one that potentially may come that has that. So yeah, you're getting to buy the dream already, which is quite nice.
Just going back to you personally, you're also an owner, a breeder, and you're also a director of Exeter Racecourse.
I am indeed, yeah. So again, having had horses all my life, we do breed a few for racing, and then we have them with us, and then as an owner as well. And then at the moment, it's just more horses that potentially may go and win as 4-year-olds in the UK, and might even make it to one of my Cheltenham sales. That's always the dream with some of the horses that we have, and then we tend to keep a lot of the horses that maybe aren't suitable for racing, and then they stay with us. We at the moment have 8, I think, at home, who are glorified pets. If I'm being totally honest, so they're just living their best life, and stay with us. The age range. My closest, my favourite racehorse. You shouldn't have favourites. He's now 26, so there's a real mixed age group in the current ones. But yeah, so we just real animal lovers, and yeah, if we can breed, the dream is always to be able to breed your own. I'd love to breed a Gold Cup winner. I think we all do want to do this, but hasn't happened yet. And then on to Exeter Racecourse. I'm a director down there. It's a really lovely track. I'm not sure you're really a bit far away from it, but you're very welcome anytime to come down, because I always say everyone should see Exeter, because it's like a real love of national hunt racing down there, and it's a really personable track, and there's really good viewing areas. You can actually go down onto the track, and there's like balconies you can go up and watch like different fences like up close. You get a real feel for what national hunt racing is down there. So I love that, the job I have there. And even though I spend a lot of time in Newmarket, I love getting back down to there and being a part of the team down there. And yeah, it's a very, very, very lovely place. I love Cheltenham, but yeah, Exeter is really, really special too.
So why Exeter Racecourse? Is that near from where you came from?
So yeah, Wincanton and Exeter would be my nearest where I'm from in the southwest. And they had approached me, so it was just seemed like a no-brainer. Because it's such a great track that I loved going to. So it's great to be a part of it. And if I can bring a bit with my Tats hat on and, get more people there. We've got a few Irish runners this weekend. We've got a race meeting this Sunday. And we've got entries from Willie Mullins, Gordon Elliott. So it's great to get an Irish. A few entries anyway, so see what happens. But yeah, it's a lovely course, so highly recommend.
Is your big day the Holden Gold Cup in November?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And obviously last year we weren't blessed with the weather, but there's just looking forward now to this year's one, and hopefully we can get nice full cards. But yeah, it's a really, really good day. That whole weekend's great as well, because it's 2 days of racing in the southwest. So it's definitely one to go to. I can recommend it.
And I guess you try and get racing as much as you can. I mean, with the Cheltenham Sale, you're obviously at the festival. Yes,
no, I am. With being on the road, I do try and tie in as many race meetings as possible. Huntington Day, I will try and get to. So yeah, no, if I can, I will. And again, like the rest of the team, we all try to go racing as much as we can because first of all, we all love it, but it's the best way that you see our clients in particular, and potentially any horses that we might think about, targeting for the sale.
So it's good for contacts and, being there and seeing the people at the races.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
2025, what's next on the agenda at Tattersalls? More auctioneering?
Definitely more auctioneering. I enjoyed it. So I was selling at the February sale last week. So I said this the other day, I am very, very grateful and have a real gratitude for everything I've achieved so far. Probably do have a few more goals. I'm not sure. I have to put them down on paper. I want to have a really good Cheltenham season. That'll finish up in April time. So we'll see if I've succeeded on that. I'm getting nice horses and nice clearance rates and all of the above. So hopefully that will go to plan. And then, so more auctioneering, making sure Cheltenham's a success. And then from there, I'm sure there are plenty, but I'm not going to bore you with my millions of different mini goals that I have. So and maybe a few nice 4-year-old horses of my own out running would be lovely too.
You'd obviously like to see more women auctioneers, though. I mean, Tattersalls has been going since 1766.
Yeah, and I think it's coming. We've got some great people here at Tattersalls who, I think are who are giving it a go now, which is fantastic. And we should see more this year for sure. I think there's no reason why not. I mean, I could have been selling probably a year sooner, but it was me who stopped it. I'd got in my own head. But yeah, I think it'll be the year that there will be definitely more changes, which is really, really, really cool to see.
But reflecting on, I've nearly forgotten the date myself. I'm sure you haven't. 26th of November.
Yeah.
What do you think now about that historic day?
I still can't believe it happened. It sounds very odd, but I often sometimes sit there and I would be probably my biggest critic. I could do anything and I'm like, I could do this better. But it was probably the first day ever that I came off and did something and go, actually, that's pretty cool. Pat on the back for yourself. And I never do that. So, I still can't believe it happened. Like some days I wake up, I'm like, did I do that? I did. Yeah. So, with a lot of help from a lot of lovely people. So yeah, I'm quite proud of it, strangely, but I don't think I can say any more on it, but yeah, still in shock, probably still in shock, and we're in February, so yeah, God knows how long that'll last.
Thank you very much, Shirley, for sharing your story.
No worries.
Very best of luck for the Cheltenham Sale on the 21st of February. And if you're going racing today, that'll be long past this podcast getting released. But have a good day, have a good day's racing, and the best of luck for 2025.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.